Do you ever struggle with wiggly lettering or shaky hands? Let me give you a tip right now. Get your elbow on the table as you are lettering, okay? So find a good position where you can keep your elbow down. I know it's hard to see my elbow. And that should provide you with a little bit more stability than when your elbow is just kind of floundering around. Give it a try. Let me know in the comments if it works for you. It works for me. Good luck. I hope you're enjoying when I stop and take a minute to go through some of the letters and show you different ways to make the same letter. Well, today, what is our letter of the week? The letter of the week is G, okay? And I wanted to show you, this is one of my lettering books. I wanted to show you, this is under letter variations, and I have in here different ways to make different letters. And so here's some different ways to make letter G. So I'm pulling out some tracing paper, and I'm just going to show you and practice some different ways. It is really good to get some tracing paper and to trace. That is so good for your muscle memory. And the more you practice like this, eventually you'll get it and be doing it on your own. But it's just like in the beginning in school when you learned by practicing and tracing. It's the same thing. And so what I'm doing now, this is a brush pen, and when I press down, it makes the line thicker. And when I lift up, it makes the line thinner. And here's some upper and lowercase different ways. And then some print as well here at the end. This is a serif where you have lines where you make a little cross line across the end of the letter. This is a print, just tall and skinny. This one, this part of the G comes up higher. And then we've got looks like a lowercase case, but it's an uppercase actually. So there's some different ways to make the letter G. Now here we go. We've already done, if you're brand new, welcome. I'm glad you're here. We are doing an ABC series. We'd love for you to catch up with us. We have done abide, believe, Christ, delight, E, Emmanuel, F for faith, and guess what G is? Some of you guessed in the comments, I believe. Grace is right. Grace. God saved you by his grace when you believed. And you can't take credit for this. It's a gift from God. And this is from Ephesians 2:8. If you are doing your project on paper, I recommend grabbing something to get all your things organized. So each week it's all together. I've got my color palette and my markers all together. And here's my paper. And I've been lettering on here. And you can see that some of these well, you can't see this, but I'm going to tell you. So what I would do, especially if you're just beginning, is if you're doing it on paper, I would write it in pencil or an erasable pen first. And then I would go through and highlight some of the words with my markers. And then I would go over it with like a black marker to make it pop out. Okay. Now I'm going to share with you how I'm going to do it on the iPad today. So last week we did faith, and I actually had it in the wrong corner, so I moved it up. And down here today, we're going to do letter G right here, or grace, the word grace. And how I'm going to do that, I want to think about what do I want my G to look like, okay? And also, last week, I don't think I shared this, and I want to make sure to share it this week because somebody asked about it. How did I do my letters like this, where it has, last week I think it had white inside of here. Somebody asked me that, and I failed to show that, so I'm going to show it today. So we're going to do the word grace. I'm going to look at different G's that I found from my lettering book and see which one I like. And I kind of like I love swirls, so I like to do the little swirl at the bottom, and I like this little entrance line there as well. So that's what I'm going to do. Let's go ahead and color the card green. Got my color palette over here, and I'm just going to choose the green, and I'm going to drop that green into that box. And now I've got my color of my card, and I want to add a layer. I don't want to write it on. I don't want to write on the green. I want to write on top of the green, if that makes sense. Okay, so let's go ahead and write Grace. I'm going to use black ink, and if you're following along, you want to use the same brush I'm using. I'm using the brush under inking called Dry Ink. It's kind of a rough brush. If you want something more traditional, use under calligraphy, use monoline. Okay, here we go. Make sure the brush is the right size. Oh, let's break it down first before we get started. So we're going to do grace. Is going to be the first step. The second step is to write the scripture. The third step is to write the reference. And then the last thing is we'll add a doodle somewhere. So I'm looking at, today I added my doodle to the right, so I'm going to go to the left a little bit with my word. So grace, I'm going to write like this. Okay, now here's the step that I failed to mention last week. See, last week I just did plain faith. I didn't do that special technique, which is just drawing a thin line where you would make a downstroke. Okay, so I'm going to make my brush a little bit thinner now, and then I'm going to make a thin line every time I would go down. So see how I would go down there, and then I would go down right here. I'm going to go around. I'm going to go down right there. That's how you do it. I showed it in the first few videos, but I'm glad it was pointed out to show it again. I do appreciate your feedback. Please leave comments. That means the world to me. There we go. So now we've got that. Now, while I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and show you how I color in my letter, my word, grace. So I'm going to make a layer underneath grace, and then I'm going to choose the blue of my color palette, and I'm just going around the letters and making a cute little bubble here, like so. Just like that. Now, inside of the letters, I can make it look different inside there. So I'm going to get that lighter blue and see if I like the way that looks. And I'm just going to drop color right inside. And it's pretty subtle. I like it, but just to show you, like, let's make a bigger difference, I'm going to put like more white in there instead, just so you can really see it good. Or actually, I have a light pink that goes with this set. You do that. I think that one shows up better. There we go. Now I'm just going to tap and fill in all those extra places where I made those lines. Like so. Pretty easy, right? Okay, next step. We're going to move down, and I'm going to get back to my black brush. I'm going to make a new layer because I might want to move this around a little bit. And the scripture is, God saved you by his grace when you believed. So let's start with that. God, and I want to make sure the brush is the size I want it. God saved. Changing up my lettering just to make that, I guess, emphasized. You by. That was Twiggy if you heard somebody making noise. Last week you got to see Twiggy up close and personal. His grace. And today she's just hanging out. So I went from script to print. Script to print. There's no rules. This is your artwork. This is actually, your time with the Lord and his word. And so however you enjoy spending it is what's important. It's not about the perfection, right? When you believed. Uh-oh, I almost misspelled that. I felt it coming. I need an E there. Period. Okay, next sentence. And this is, I think I'm using the NLT in all of these, New Living Translation. So feel free to change it up and do whatever translation you prefer. And you can't take credit for this. The more you practice too, your lettering is just going to improve every time. Semicolon. It is, I'm just going to put all caps is, just to make that kind of stand out. A gift, and I'm going to do that as well, because there's no rules. It is a gift from God. We did pretty good on our spacing today. Had plenty of room. That is a capital G, by the way, in case you're worried. Okay, let's see. Okay, so now we've done part 1 and 2. We did our main word, our scripture. Next, we're going to make our brush smaller, and we're going to write out the scripture reference, Ephesians 2:8, and we're going to stretch it out. Just stretch it, move your arm along. It's very hard to spell things correctly when you're trying to concentrate on how to stretch your letters out. So how did I do? I think I did it. And I'm going to make that smaller. Oops, I forgot to put it on a different layer. Ephesians 2:8. Okay, there's that. We're doing good. Now let's go ahead, before I move on to the next thing, let's go ahead and grab some color and put behind these letters, these words. So I'm going to make sure I add a layer underneath these words, and then I'm going to go to my color palette and make some blocks behind them. So let's start with saved. Make my brush bigger so I can see better. There we go. Got that one. Now let's do grace. Choosing orange for this one. Next, we'll do the other shade of blue. I'm going to do believed. Okay, and you can't take credit for this. It is a gift from God. Okay, next I'm going to do this red color. And the more you read the scripture, the more you sit with the scripture, the more you say it and believe it, it's going to be a part of you. So don't hesitate to continue to repeat it as you're lettering it. And God. Great. Perfect. Okay, we're almost done. Now let's get a doodle. Now this is your chance to draw something if you love to draw, or if you're like me and you want to use a simple stamp, a digital stamp. I'm going to pull out my digital stamps from up here. Let me show you. Right up here where my brushes are. If I click on my brushes, I can go look for my stamp set that says Scripture Doodles. This is my Scripture Doodles stamp set that you can actually purchase through Etsy. At the end of the video, you can get the link at the bottom, or I think there's even something you can click on at the end to go straight to my Etsy shop to purchase it if you'd like. But it has several different stamps on here, and they're great for this project that we're doing, but you'll be using them forever, over and over again. And the reason I started designing stamps is because I would draw a chapel, and then the next project I'd want to draw a chapel, and I'm like, wait, I just drew a chapel. You know what I mean? So I was like, I wish I had stamps so I could continue to use the same thing that I've already drawn before. And so it just makes it so easy. So I'm going to choose this descending dove here, and then choose one of my colors, and make sure I'm on a new layer, and then play around with it. And that's not where I want it, and that's not the size I want it. So I'm just going to move it around until I get it where I want it and how I want it. And there we go. It's as simple as that. We did it. Grace. God saved you by his grace when you believed, and you can't take credit for this. It is a gift from God. Ephesians 2:8. I'm so glad you were here today. I want you to come back next week. What is the letter going to be next week? We're going to be doing H. What do you think H is for? Is that right? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H? Yeah. Think about, I already know. I remember. I mean, of course, I lettered it. So I already know. But it was a long time ago when I came up with it. But now I'm thinking, okay, yeah, of course. That's a common H word seen in the Bible. So if you can guess what it is, tell me in the comments. But not only that, tell me how you're doing in the comments. Tell me if you relate to anything I said. Do you have shaky arms? Or did you learn anything today about the iPad or about anything else that I talked about? I'd love to hear about it. Thank you so much for being here. I'll see you next week. Bye.